So I'm here rolling tortillas for lunch, and I thought I would hop on here and see how everybody else in Melbourne town is going with day 2 of lockdown. So there's so many myriad of feelings about it this time round, and one thing I'm trying to be super conscious of is balancing out my viewpoints and where I might feel like I'm getting emotional about stuff or making assumptions about how long this is going to be, how I'm going to get through it, what the bigger picture is, the shoulds about how we should be dealing with it, how we should be parenting, how we should be conducting ourselves in public, and really, as much as I can, also trying to read where I do spend time reading about COVID, is to read as much balanced information as I possibly can. So reading mainstream media as well as reading some of the more, I wouldn't even say provocative, I would simply just say more holistically minded people. So like Zach Bush, MD, is somebody who I really enjoy reading. I always love checking out what Bruce Lipton has to say, and then holding in my awareness both of the potentialities that in fact the public response that we've got right now is well justified and appropriate, and then also create space in my consciousness for the other side where people feel like disenfranchised by this approach, or like that it's somehow wrong. Because the truth is we need everybody, we need every viewpoint. And as I was saying yesterday, we went to the chiropractor and I was chatting to her about it, and I was saying everybody has a level of fear because we're all plugged into the collective feeling around this. And so whether you're afraid of the virus or if you're afraid of the infringement on your sense of freedom, you've both got fear. And so when we can love beyond the judgments, then we can see that we're actually all of the same, all going through a similar process, but looking at this whole thing differently. And when we can see that in fact the person who chooses to view things completely opposite to you is actually just going through the same emotional journey as you are, but it just looks different, you can open your heart to that person and love them for their experience, which I think is a really beautiful thing to keep coming back to, because we're all in this together and we're all experiencing it in really different ways. And the more that we can stretch and widen our perspective and our hearts to see the different ways people can experience it, the more we can put ourselves in their shoes and become curious rather than judgmental, which I think is really important. So that's my practice that I'm constantly doing, and then I'm thinking a lot about how I feel in my body, because our children are beautiful barometers for how we're feeling. So for example, my 7-year-old, they're both having a bit of a play fight at the moment. My 7-year-old is very, very focused, very like tunnel vision on his values, on his desire to be always bike riding. And when I'm feeling overwhelmed, there's an edginess in me that feels like you need to think about everybody else, it's not just about you, and that's a feedback as well for us as parents around our belief systems. Are we thinking wider? Are we checking in with how, our view of this situation, or are we only looking at it through a tunnel vision? So I see the triggers that I'm having with my son as really purposeful and meaningful for what I'm currently working through in my own psychology. So I'm here rolling out tortillas because I have just used my sourdough starter, which because I've been making sourdough, that's been like my one like little ISO kind of baking thing. And I also, my mum sent me a recipe on sourdough tortillas, and so they're looking absolutely amazing. I'll just show you one. So we're going to have fish tortillas for lunch today. And the process of like rolling out these tortillas and pushing really hard on this rolling pin feels really good right now because I'm working with, you know, the tension in my body, and I'm just, yeah, like really working with my energy in a conscious way at the same time as creating lunch for my family, which I think is beautiful. This time around in lockdown, I'm doing a lot of kind of preventative exercise, like both myself and with the kids, actually trying to get out first thing in the morning, just to expel some energy. And then when I'm noticing the kids are kind of either bouncing off each other a bit or bouncing off the walls, then actually working with my irritation levels and entering play there with them. So if they're kind of at each other, kind of getting irritated or like accusing each other of something, I'm jumping in and going, no, it wasn't Sylvie, it was me, and try to create laughter and connection that way. So that's how we're rolling on day 2 of lockdown here. So we're going to be having lunch soon. Yeah, you can help. We're just using the rolling pin.
Can I help?
Yeah.
The rolling pin?
Yeah.
I'll get this.
You can use that one, so we just need to move these ones out of the way because we've got lots now.
I'm not doing it, and I have to do more stuff for the balls.
Yeah, we've got so many bowls. Do you want to say hi? Everyone's watching.
Hi. Oh.
It's pretty fun seeing yourself, isn't it?
Oh.
So would you like to roll this one out? Let's just move these ones out of the way. And we'll put down some flour and then you can have a go.
Okay.
And with our kids as well, like following their lead, so when they want to help, see that as purposeful too, because not only are they wanting to contribute, but also maybe the movement and the rhythm and the pressure that this function creates for me is something that my daughter's going to really enjoy too, because it's, you know, shifting energy out of her body and getting some sensory experience. You love the sensory stuff, don't you, Sylvie? Sometimes Sylvie ends up licking and eating the dough. So
I won't do it.
You won't do it this time?
No.
Okay. We have lots of balls, so if you decide you want to do that, you can. And flour. Flour's really interesting too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool?
Because what if my dog was turned to rainbow?
What if your dog turned to rainbow?
Yeah.
How do you think he would turn to rainbow?
Because he's the best.
He's the best. Well, that's a fair point. He could turn to rainbow if he's the best. I can hear that Pearl's just woken up, so we're going to go. But hope you're going okay if you're in Melbourne and you're in lockdown. If they're in the rest of Australia and you're maybe wondering if your lockdown's going to come again for you too, maybe it will, maybe it won't, we don't know. And that's what it's like to just live in wonder, right? So have a good one. I'm going to go and see Pearl.